it's they take up a big chunk of the eastern half of Pennsylvania and New Jersey, and that's huge. There's some big people who have come out of there, like I believe George Sullivan come out of there, Paul Felder come out of there. So I mean, so there's some major people in the UFC and the bigger promotions that have come from XFE and CFFC. So that's huge news, especially if it brings a local promotion, that makes it now kind of regional. If it's getting national coverage like that, that's amazing.
Mhm.
Excuse me, I needed to take a drink. I was getting a little bit of dry mouth. But yeah, and you know, I always try to, you know, the promotions here in Pennsylvania. There's just like 5 or 6 of them, and for the most part, it's quality MMA. I really appreciate that. We're seeing a lot of people coming from, you know, our area here, where you know, Steven's been lucky there. You know, he's got some guys that have been coming out of the eastern half, and you know, it's good also that the western half of Pennsylvania is getting recognized. We had fighting this week in New Jersey. There's Chris Dempsey. He's going up against Eddie Tough Gordon. I had to cough there. Apologize. Which I posted about that earlier today. I mean, here we have Eddie Chuck Gordon is a very recent Ultimate Fighter winner, and you know, because he lost his fight against Josh Saman, they're actually putting that fight between Chris Dempsey, who is a Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh area fighter. It's the very first fight on the card. It's not even being televised. It's on the Fight Pass prelims, which is crazy. Could you imagine that? You know, a promotion would put one of their stars. You know, you would think their Ultimate Fighter winners are their rising stars. They would want to showcase them, and you know. Can you believe that Dana White chose to put that as the very first fight that most people are probably not going to get to see?
There's a method for everything that man does.
I'm sure there is. I don't see the method in his madness sometimes. I mean, it's like another fight that's on this fight card coming up in New Jersey is Paige Van Zandt and Felice Herrig, and you know, they're trying to promote Paige, but her UFC debut was on the Fight Pass prelims, and it was probably the fight of the night, that event, and nobody really got to see it until like last week when they finally put it online free. You know, but I mean, you know, they were talking so much about how good that fight was for Paige, but nobody got to see it because they kept it on the Fight Pass prelims. So obviously the Fertitta brothers trust him. He's made the company lots of money, and he's helped forward the sport as a whole, but I just don't understand his decisions sometimes. I wish I could pick his brain. It might be a scary place. It's probably a very scary place, but I mean,
yeah. I think a lot of people would want to pick his brain.
All right, last topic for last topic. I'm gonna throw you guys before I might go a little bit further away before the rest of the evening. It's now official that Nate Diaz is not, I repeat, is not fighting Matt Brown, and yes, he is not fighting Anthony Showtime Pettis either, because Pettis is now fighting Miles Jury. So I think Diaz just cost himself a big fight trying to get the bigger fight. Oh, and it's also Nate's birthday today, by the way, so happy birthday, Nate.
Yeah, happy birthday. I mean, yeah, the Diaz brothers, I mean, I like them. They're exciting to watch when they do show up. You know, they show up on fight night, but the rest of that stuff is they are not their best advocate. You know, sometimes they are their own worst enemy. And I said whenever that fight first got announced that, A, I didn't think it was going to happen, and B, it didn't make sense, because even though Nate had fought at welterweight before, he's a lightweight. So it really didn't make sense to me. And, you know, especially since there were other people that Nate could have been fighting, like possibly Anthony Pettis. And, you know, Matt Brown should have been in a title contender, you know, not a title eliminator, but a title contender fight at welterweight. So it didn't make any sense, and I said it probably wouldn't last. And then whenever Nate was saying how he's like, oh, no, I'm fighting Anthony Pettis next. I never agreed to fight Matt Brown. They're kind of bullying me into this. I came out and said that's not a smart move either. You know, you know, especially how, you know, his last fight, he he kind of pulled a page out of his brother's playbook and didn't go to all the contractually obligated appearances. He didn't make the press open workout, as they call it. He came in overweight, and then he lost the fight. So it's like, he didn't do himself any good by doing what he did, and then he tried to save face and do some damage control by being polite, trying to be articulate. But I said whenever he said that he wasn't going to take this fight because he wanted the other fight, it's probably not going to end good for him. And then whenever the UFC announced that the guy Nate did want to fight, Anthony Pettis was actually fighting Miles Jury, I was like, uh-oh, Nate's probably going to get backburnered on this, and if he is, it's his own fault. Because you don't say no to your promotion. I mean, you might not like it. You try to work around it, try to negotiate as best as you can. But if they offer you a fight, you should take it because it's money in the bank. I mean, I was going to say. Okay, not to change subject here. I'm sure Stephen's going to get us into the what tonight was actually about. It's some. Maybe you could tell me about this, since it's kind of like your what is this called, your Blaze Kids, and we're going to have some pretty amazing people on here tonight. And there's the Greenway brothers are on here. That's good. I know a little bit about their parents. Both their parents are fighters. You have Ashley and Alan Greenway, and I know Alan is actually fighting this week. My friend Molly Hoskinson is matchmaker for USFFC, and Alan's going to be fighting this week. So I imagine the kids are helping their father as he's preparing to cut weight, and I believe he's trying to try out for the upcoming season of was it Tough 22. So that'll be interesting. They could probably have some stories to tell about how it's kind of like it's a family business for them, the Greenways. But I want you tell people about about what it's all about. This little thing, because you're very involved, and that's one of the things I admire you about, and I look up to you for, is because you are very involved with the next generation stars, and even the next generation beyond that. So why don't you tell people what that's about?
Blaze Kids is under my nonprofit, which is listed under Unity Fighters First Foundation, which not only gears towards our younger athletes, but also athletes who are injured. It's something that myself and my team are actually developing. Hopefully we'll be able to launch a few more things this summer. But with Blaze Kids, it's a combine challenge that I developed, and it's something for these kids to actually go in and earn their sponsorships and get the opportunity to be in front of a camera or on TV or radio. It gives them preparations for the future. So if they decide that they want to be a football star, well, granted, we teach them that if you don't make it as a football star, there are other multi-talents that you possibly could have and could venture into, and you're a superstar either way. Doesn't matter if you're not an NFL superstar or whatever. But we try to instill with these kids that they have the opportunity through the Blaze Kids Combine Challenge, which I'm working on having one this summer. Unfortunately, I've got to do some fundraising and things like that and get some more sponsors for the event. But with that being said, it gives the kids the opportunity to earn cash. They get to be introduced to different sponsors. It gets an opportunity for the public to get to know these kids. And right now I'm actually working with another athletic company called, Right Athletics. And he's based right out of here in Chicago, and he works with the inner city kids. And so we're actually in works of talking about joining together, kind of like a partnership, where I can be able to work with the kids who are in the inner city who don't have the potential to participate in sports because of finances or because of scheduling, or they could possibly they don't have that opportunity, and all they see is what's in their environment. So there's a lot of great things that are in bloom for Blaze Kids, and it was originally geared for BJJ. I'm sorry, you guys, I'm sick today, but all kids who are in any type of athletic sport. This was an opportunity for them all to get together, meet each other, and kind of, the Combine Challenge is like the NFL Combine Challenge. They'll flip tires, they'll do ropes, they'll do monkey bars, they'll do jump ropes, and there's great prizes. There's customized prizes to these kids. I go above and beyond, and I do the whole trophies and medals, and I'm very detailed and very specific in what I do. I'm a perfectionist. I supply the kids their meals, their water. And this isn't just like your regular Combine Challenge. Because I care about these kids, I make sure that there's a medical staff on available. Everything's insured. It's professionally done. The kids don't have to pay to participate. So basically the funding comes from the parents and the spectators who come in to watch this. That's how the foundation builds the money to have the next challenge for these kids. But there'll be a different events for these kids with anti-bullying videos, different functions that we'll have throughout the summer. Since it's getting warmer, we'll have car washes, different fun stuff for the kids to do. It's just a positive reinforcement of they're doing a great job. And, using my media skills and enhancing what they want to do, getting them prepared for the career that they're choosing to go into.
Yeah, that's, like I said, that's really amazing what you're doing. I mean, I wish growing up, in the area where I'm at, it was kind of more rural, than I'm living in a, I don't really call Altoona a city. It's got like 50,000 to it. So for Pennsylvania standards, that's pretty big. But I grew up in the next county over where it was a town of 2,000. So we had some opportunities with like Little League and, but nothing like there is now. Now they're doing like Pee Wee League, what they call Pop Warner style football and hockey and soccer. But, I wish we would have had someone like you around whenever I was younger, because that would have made things even better. And there were so many things that I wish I could have been able to get involved with that weren't available in our area. So I think, like you said, you're a good advocate for the kids. And like I said, you're bringing up some superstars of tomorrow, in my opinion. And it's good that there are people like you out there doing what you do.
And you know what? It's funny that you say that. I really try to stay away from the news because it's all just bad, negative stuff. But I just happened to catch the trial of Hernandez, and I'm a Patriots fan, so everybody knows that. And I tweeted something. I said, you pretty much do the crime, you do the time. And it's unfortunate that so many families are affected by this one incident. And where I'm getting with this is that Hernandez probably came from, obviously, with his background, came from a very hard childhood life. And that's where a program like this would be able to come in and direct a child into sports. I really honestly believe that any type of sport or extracurricular activity you can get your kids in are extremely important. And don't let finances stop you from putting these kids into something that's positive. If there's a will, there's a way. That's, coming from being a single parent myself, you can understand and relate to how expensive it is to put your kid in football. You're talking $600 by the time you get done buying everything the child needs, and top of paying the high school fee and whatever it is. It's expensive. But I tell parents, don't let that stop you. If you want the best for your kids, you'll make a way. If it's not through your own finances, it's through programs like this that would be able to help a child succeed. And, I saw something a little bit different in that Hernandez trial. I didn't see a man on trial for a murder. I saw a child that could have potentially been helped when he was younger. That's what I saw.
Yeah, and you're very right about that. That's like one of the things I say. It was our growing up, we really didn't have a lot of opportunities other than we had Little League. And I was lucky enough that when I was, after Little League stopped, I tried Pony League for a while, which is, but I really didn't get too involved with that. I was lucky enough. My brother-in-law was a black belt in judo and in several forms of karate, and I was a hyper kid, and I really could have went the other way. I mean, like I said, I lived in a small town of maybe 2,000, but there were ways that kids could get into trouble. And I was lucky enough, my mom reached out to my brother-in-law, and she said, look, we need to get him some discipline. He's hyper.